Hi everyone, welcome. In this tutorial, I will be going through two simple support and resistance strategy as well as a trendline breakout strategy. This forms the simple technical analysis strategies that any beginner can learn very quickly and use it in order to get started with technical analysis. So the second thing I'll be going through is to explain what is a support and resistance, because first you need to understand how support and resistance is formed and how it works in order to make use of it. Thirdly, I'll be going through some of the techniques that you can use to draw support and resistance accurately and properly, and finally coming to putting it together and to learn how to trade, some of the trade setups that we have that you can use these simple technical analysis strategies to get started. Now in the description below this video, I also provided some tips, a bonus PDF with tips and more examples, as well as some of the free software that's already available out there that you can use to get started with your technical analysis. So let's get started. Now first I have this chart on gold. Here I've already drawn a blue line. This blue line here, this is the support resistance line, and how it got established is that here you can see with these red arrows here, there are 2 points where the price was being tested. Okay, here first the price moves up, it gets denied, it moves up again, actually it breaches this line, then gets denied as well, before finally it breaks through. And here you can see that once the price breaks through, it needed a strong momentum. It's quite a big green bar here to proceed higher up. Now once the price has broken through, after a while, actually after almost like 3 or 4 months later, the price has come down again, and guess what, it has landed again at the same level. Here the price get tested 3 times. This is something that we call back test. So now after the back test, this price has now was not breached again, so it has held support, and with that the price then launches itself into higher regions. Okay, so with this action we can now have see how the support and resistance line has been formed, and after another few more months the price actually gravitates back to the support line again, and it then launches the price even higher from this support line. So this is typically how a support and resistance line is formed. First there's a resistance, it breaks through with some momentum, and then there's a back test, it holds support, and then it launches itself from this line. Let me give a few more examples so that we can have a better grasp of this concept. Here you can see a chart of Walmart. Here you can see that this level here gets tested a few times. I think it's about 81. So it gets tested a few times, once, twice, 3 times before the final push comes. You can see again there's a big push here, and then price launches into higher ground, and after a while the price comes back down again, and guess what, it lands on the same level. So it got tested a few times, it breaks through, lands back on the same level, and then the price launches itself again. So this is how support resistance works, and let's see how we can make use of this in order to trade and make some profit. Here you can see another example. This is an apple. Here you can see that the price get tested a few times. This time around there is no breakthrough. Okay, so the price had to retreat, consolidate before it pushes up. Here after it has broken through, it has performed a very small back test before the price moves higher, and again another back test here before price moves higher. Here you can see another level has formed. So here this price gets turned down around almost 220, and a few times here as well before finally price pushes higher, and then right now we are at this level. I think recently the price came down early 2020 to around this level, and now it has moved up higher again. Now Here we have another example, but this time around is the same chart that I showed earlier for gold. Okay, here you can see once the price breaks up, the price of a stock never moves in a straight line. It always moves in a staggered or choppy fashion or staircase or something like that. So here you can see that the price has been bouncing up and down, and this bounce can be actually encapsulated within these two trend lines, these parallel lines here. So here it gets tested once, twice, 3, 4 times here, and here too it gets tested once, twice, 3, 4 times before it finally settles down on the earlier resistance, which has now turned support. So the price doesn't go below and test this green line anymore. This is the indication that yes, this is a strong support and is holding firm. And then here you can see that once the price breaks above this green channel, then it moves higher up. Okay, and this is called the breakout, right? The trend line breakout strategy. This is something that we want to analyze further so that we can make use of this strategy for our trading. Okay, now that we have understood how support and resistance works, now let's see how we can use it to trade. Here, this is the chart of crude oil. Okay, and here the price has been encapsulated within a what they call this a horizontal resistance as well as a diagonal support. Okay, so here price get tested a few times, once, twice, 3, a few more times here, but the price doesn't really come near to the line, but it's thereabouts. And then finally the price breaks below, and here you can see a small back test. Okay, but we can't really trade this because the price is already broken, and if you go into the trade here, right, you are actually going to chase the price down. So it's better to wait for a proper back test to take place here. Okay, and so how do we set up this trade, right? Okay, here you can see the price has come back to test this line, and then once it starts to move down and break below this channel, that's where we place our trade, and then monitor the price going forward. Here, okay, here we have another example with even better clarity. This is Apple. Here you can see the support line tested once, twice, and then it turns into a resistance because there's a big break here. Okay, and then price drops, and then it goes up again, and now this support has turned into a resistance. Okay, so how do we trade, right? So the earlier chart is this is a daily chart. Okay, now we have to look at the next smaller level, which is the hourly chart. Here you can see the same chart where it's tested a few times, and then the price moves up, and when the price moves up, here you can see it has formed another trend line. This whole back test, right, is now encapsulated in this trend line, supported by this trend line. So it gets supported a few times, once, 2, 3 times before it breaks. Now this is where we want to place our trade. So we can place our trade here with a stop loss just probably a few candlesticks after that, and then we monitor the price going lower. Here's another example. This is the S&P 500. The trend line is broken once, a few more I mean it's tested once, a few more times here, and also another time here. This time around the breakout happens, however the back test managed to penetrate above this trend line. It seemed like this back test successfully penetrated back the and this support did not turn into a resistance. However, the price started to drop again, right? So how do we trade this? Again, what we can do is we draw another trend line. So this is where the breakout happened. So right after the breakout there will be a retracement. So during this retracement or this back test, we draw another trend line. So here you can see once, twice, 3 times it's been tested, and finally it gets broken. When it gets broken, this is where you want to place the trade, okay, and then you can monitor this trade by a few percentage points as the price continues to slide. So here you can see that the trend has actually changed, and this is the kind of change or new trend that you want to profit from. So we place our trades here. Another example, here we have Agilent Technologies. Here you can see this is a longer term chart since August 2019. So the price gets tested once, twice, and many times, and this trend line is actually quite strong. And here you can see finally it breaks again. There's a big drop. Okay, it took a big drop to penetrate below this trend line, and then the market tries to recover back above it. Let's see the details of this. Okay, so there's a big drop, and then the market tries to recover, and this back test is encapsulated in this trend line here and get tested a few times, once, twice, 3 times, because before it gets broken again, and this is where we will place our trade again. Okay, another example is CVS Health Corporation. Here you can see once, twice, 3, 4 times, 5, 6, and then finally before it breaks above, and then the back test happens here, and then we can zoom into the hourly chart where we can draw another set of trend line. Here you can see this trend line gets broken, get tested once, twice, 3 times, and this time it's successful, and then this is where we want to place our trade, and then we can monitor the price going forward. Okay, so there you have it, a very quick video. Just wanted to go through very quickly what is support resistance, how it works, so that any beginner can start using this tool to effectively get started in technical analysis. And as you have also seen, not only is this a very reliable tool, it is also it happens very frequently. It exists in all markets, whether is it commodities, crude oil, gold, S&P 500, stock market, whichever stock market there is, you can always use this tool to have a better sensing of the trend and have a better trade strategy to make the biggest profit and have the lowest take the lowest risk. Now, as I've said earlier, this whole video I've documented in a PDF, and the PDF has a lot more examples. I've also included some of the tips for beginners, how you can get started. Okay, I just go through very quickly here. There are three things that I can mention here. First of all is that you need to keep a record of your trade. So make a record so that you learn through those records. So take a look at some of the charts, record it down, and analyze the charts. Take a look at your the support and resistance, and then place trades, and then monitor them and record it down so that you can always learn where you have gone wrong and what has worked, so that you can get better at trading. Second thing is, when you get started, right, don't start immediately with your own money, because it's very risky. Okay, because stock markets can really snap in the opposite direction, and you can actually lose a lot of money. So start by doing paper trade. Okay, and this ties in with the earlier tip I gave just now, to keep records, right? So be very disciplined about it. The third thing I can tell you is that keep it simple. Okay, that is the reason why when I wanted to share something for beginners, I started with a very simple strategy. Okay, so keep it simple. Learn the most simple of all indicators and strategies, like in this case, support and resistance, trend line. Just 2 tools to get started, right? And then also don't look at all the markets at the same time. Just concentrate maybe on 3 counters or 3 stocks, or maybe 1 index. Your country's main index, for example. If let's say if you are trading in the US, you can take a look at S&P 500, and then maybe 3 stocks that interest you. Okay, and just keep it simple, and just concentrate on this first for maybe a few weeks or maybe a month or 2, until you are confident before you actually place a trade. So that's all I have for this video. So if you like it, please subscribe, and do let me know if you have any feedback in the comment section below, and do also let me know if you like me to analyze any specific counter or any specific stock, or if there are any other trading patterns or strategies that you like to learn about. So I'll come up with another a few more videos on this as well. So subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again.